I come from a long line of pranksters. My father's a prankster. My grandfather is a prankster. My great grandfather, I never met him, but I assume that he's a prankster. My grandfather is such a prankster that when anybody dies in the village in Greece where he's from, he ties a thin string around that person's hand. And when people go to pay their respects, he, he moves the body like a puppet. My father loves to prank this old woman that lives next door. Not because she's old, but because she stole some of his land or something. I don't know. And he crank calls her and crank calls her and crank calls her. And one time, he told her that a fish went in my ear and I couldn't hear anymore. So for the entire summer, I had to pretend to be deaf. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, my whole family, they're all pranksters. All of them are pranksters, except me. I'm the complete opposite. I am super naive. I'm very gullible. Half the time, I don't know what's happening. So much so that like when I went on the dating apps, I was single and I went on the dating apps and I wasn't getting a lot of traction. And my friend said, send pictures. So I started sending pictures and people's profiles would disappear. To the point where I thought maybe there was a technical issue with my phone. And I called TELUS and Kyle at TELUS said, no, sir, there's nothing wrong with your phone. People are blocking you when they see what you look like. Thanks, Kyle. That's really like a confidence booster when you're on a dating app called Grindr. So I went to Greece that summer just to get away. And my cousins asked me, like, what's up? And I'm like, oh, I'm going through a hard time. I'm dating, and it's online, and it's a mess. And they said to me, you have to go to this beautiful beach where you're really, really gonna relax. And I knew from their tone that something was up. Really, really relax. Like, every beach is really, really relaxing. Like, why would this beach be any different? But I took the bait and I went. And I get there and, I do the whole thing. Like, I follow directions. I go over the rocks, through the trees, and I sit down. And it was really beautiful. And it was relaxing. But not for long. Because people started coming into my section naked. Completely naked. And I grew up in Chamonix. Very sheltered and shy. I couldn't make eye contact. And I'm sitting there in my swim shorts, frozen. And I'm thinking to myself, why would my cousin send me to a naked beach? And I realized that I'm now one of their victims. And I had two choices. I could either get up and leave, or I could stay and really relax. So I did. I stayed. I took off my shorts. I got in the water, naked. And I'm swimming naked, and at this point, all of my naked friends had left. And I'm there, and I'm swimming naked, and if you haven't swam naked, I highly recommend it. Yes, I had that moment of like, what if fish attack this area? But they don't, so trust me, go and relax. And I see from a distance this beautiful man naked with goggles. And I'm like, listen, I'm not a nudist sommelier, but there should be like a code for naked people. And one should be not to wear goggles when we're on, like, what are you fishing for? You know? No, that's so weird. And he starts coming closer to me. And I'm like, should I get out of the water? Should I stay in the water? He gets in the water and he starts circling me like a shark. Dunna, 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 dunna. And I'm shy, I'm nervous, I'm a little excited. And I start giving him side thigh. I'm like, what am I doing? What if this man is straight? What if I'm straight? I'm not straight. I'm not straight. I'm not straight. I'm not straight. I'm definitely not straight. I'm like, so I look closer to him and I see, how can I say this? I see this man pleasuring himself. Yeah. And I shop at Carrefour Laval. I can't do this. Or can I do this? So I yell, "Are you from Italy?" Why would he? We're in Greece. We're not in Italy. Why did I say that? And then with one hand, obviously, he's like, no, I'm from Athens. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he starts coming closer to me, and I'm like, did I just do that? Did I just invite this stranger to be next to me and pleasure himself? I did, because he stood right next to me, going to town on the task at hand, and I started hysterically laughing. And I turned into Alex Trebek, and I'm like, so, do you come here often? And he's like, what? I'm like, I don't know. And I said, is your village near here? Is your village near here? This is why I'm single. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty. He's like, it's pretty close. I'm like, oh, okay, great. I'm like, do you have animals in your village? Do you have animals in your village? I need help. And he's like, yeah, a few. I'm like, oh, okay, great. What animals do you have? It's so embarrassing. And he's like, yeah. He's like, Yeah. I didn't know what to do. So I hugged him. And I tapped him on his back. I basically burped him. For me, he will always be the one that swam away. To get back at my cousins, I didn't go home that night. The next day, the entire island was trying to find me. And on my way home, I stopped at a gas station, and the lady at the pump was like, so, did your family find you? And I'm like, who are you? I'm like, no, they didn't find me. And she's like, are you enjoying your vacation? Have you been able to relax? And I'm like, not really. Thank you. Have a good night.